Hello folks, this is Sula speaking, and you're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is another game from the public beta environment prior to the release of Set 7. For this game, alongside me, are some of our other usual TFT group. So we have Smashmouth, whose PBE name is Smathmoush, but I'm just going to call him Smashmouth since that's what he usually goes by. Antisocial Monkeys, Symbol, and JDP El Grillo, so it's good to have all of them here with me. In this game, we're going to be looking at the team that I play, which is a spellcasting team composition that's going to play eventually into the Storm Dragon, Shin, which is the name for Aurelian Soul back when he was in development. Obviously, this is not an actual champion in League of Legends, but it is a champion that was potentially slated to become what ended up becoming Aurelian Soul later on. We're going to have to get there, though, because that is an expensive 10-cost dragon, so we won't be seeing that towards the end of the game, but we will be seeing a spellcasting composition here. On the initial carousel, I ended up taking a glove, and here I actually make a 2-star Senna early on, so I was like, all right, hey, 2-star Senna. I've got an early rod. If I can just find a bow, I can make a Rage Blade, and then we'll be off and playing some kind of AD team composition. So I was planning right now, at this moment in the game, that I was going to play an AD comp. Maybe I'd play into Cannoneers, maybe I'd play something with like Jinx and go into Corki or Xayah or something. But then I get another rod here, and I was like, oh, okay, double rods, that kind of suggests that this should maybe be some kind of a spellcasting team composition. And ultimately, that's the direction that I'm going to go down based on what drops from this minion round, which we'll see in a minute. As far as one other thing I want to mention here while we're kind of early on, this is one of the new stages that drops, this background stage. It's one of the new stages that you get. It doesn't drop. It's something that comes from the pass. And this is going to be one of the pass rewards from purchasing the pass. I think it looks okay. I don't love this stage, but it's all right. It's not that bad. I actually like the first one that drops more. God, I used the word drop again. I like the first one, which is like the lava background a little bit more. All right, so here I'm thinking about what I want to play, and the big thing was I got that Ryze drop from the last creep round, and Ryze is kind of the key unit that you want to pick up if you're playing mages. So here I'm trying to decide, I'm like, do I want to play combat training, which means I'm going to play an AD team composition, or do I want to play this Ryze, which means I'm going to be playing a mage composition? And ultimately I decide, you know what, we've got double rods. You usually should try to let the items dictate your path a little bit more than the champions. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to grab the Vlad. I'm going to grab the Skarner here in the shop, and I'm going to look to transfer over into mages. So the reason why that is because I found the Ryze, and Ryze is kind of the key early and mid-game carry for anyone who's playing a mage composition. Anytime that you get an early Ryze drop, who's a 3-cost unit, you want to be thinking about that because he is like kind of the key unit to be playing through for this kind of setup. And of course, the other reason is I had the items to play it. I had double rods, and that allows me to make a Jeweled Gauntlet plus another rod, which could be something else. It could be a Gunblade. It could be a Death Cap if I continue to get more rods. It could be, I don't know, Archangels, although that's not as strong. And I also had Ludens as an option as well. So Ludens is back from the previous set of Teamfight Tactics. It was around in set, I can't remember if it was in set 6. It was definitely in set 6.5 as an augment choice. That is when your units cast their ability, magic damage splashes to other targets. And that's really strong on Ludens because, really strong on mages because guess what? When mages cast, they cast twice. So you get the Ludens proc twice. And in particular for someone like Ryze who has low mana cost, at least at the start of the fight, you're going to be procking that Ludens very frequently. So I'm actually going to sell the 2-star Senna and transfer these items over to Ryze. And now I need to try to get some more tankiness into my team comp. But I was like, you know what? I don't really have the build I want right now. Let's, I'm probably just going to lose these rounds. Let's see if we can lush streak for a couple rounds here. I don't love lush streaking. I'm a player who just likes to win early and play from ahead as opposed to playing from behind. But I didn't really see an alternative here. So that's why I don't level to level 4. I was like, I think the plan is just lose some of these rounds, see if we can kill some units. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. I wasn't able to kill anything there, so I take 8 damage from Smash Mouth. And that was not so this is not really the opening I want, but I thought that was the best way to play things. All right, and so here I get the unit that I really want, which is I get the Heimerdinger, and that's going to allow me to play a trainer opener, which is what I want here, and while still having mages in. And so that's the idea. And now I'm trying to figure out which mages I want to pick up here. Again, my big problem right now is I just have no frontline and I have all 1-star units, but I'm trying to do the best I can to play around that right now. All right, so this is a trait I haven't talked about yet in set 7. This is one of the more creative traits. I like this one. It's called Trainer, and this trait puts another unit on the board. So every set seems to have one kind of trait that when you put in X amount of units, you get some kind of extra unit on the board, and that is the Trainer trait in this. It puts Namzi on the board, the cute little creature right there, and Namzi will get stronger over time because trainers will feed him snacks each round. I've got the cheat sheet here. I'll just read the official description of what this trait does. Trainer. Every round, each trainer feeds 1 snacks per star level to Namzi, increasing health and ability power. Namzi's star level increases every 25 snacks. So right now, Namzi's not going to get stacked up very quickly because I've got a 1-star Tristana who will feed him a snack, and I've got a 1-star Heimerdinger who will feed Namzi a snack. So that's not going to increase very quickly right now. But if I can get them starred up, then, for each star level, they feed another snack. So, if they're both 2 stars, then that'll double to 4 snacks. And if I can find Lulu and put her in the comp, then that'll give me another trainer to put in here. Trainer 2 just puts Namzi on the board. Trainer 3 increases the damage that Namzi's ability does by 100%. Namzi shoots out a fireball for its ability. And, the damage is not very high from Namzi, although if you get the star level high enough, it can start to be pretty respectable. The main reason why you play Namzi is just for the crowd control. Like, that's the main reason. It can be pretty useful, particularly if you can get Namzi starred up early. Like, if you can get Namzi into your team comp early on and start stacking Namzi, it can turn into a pretty useful unit because by the end of the game, you can drop one of the trainers, just play 2 like I'm doing right now, and then take advantage of the fact that Namzi just kind of gives you an extra unit. Namzi can go all the way to 4-star level. So it doesn't even stop at 3-star. It can go all the way to 4-star and just keeps getting more stats. And again, it's not like an amazing unit. This is not like a 9 cultist Galio from set 4. It's not like the Hextech Dragon from set 6. It's nothing like that. But, anytime you can get a free additional unit, that's not bad. So if you have the opportunity to put this on the board early on, it's not bad. I know I'm repeating myself there. Generally, if in the late game you will play Namzi, you'll just play Trainer 2, and there's kind of 2 paths. One is you play Lulu plus Tristana if you're playing like a Cannoneers build, and that allows you to get Namzi on your board with just those 2 units, Trist plus Lulu. Lulu is good in almost any team composition, so that's not much of a sacrifice. The other alternative is to play mages, and that's what we're going to have here, and that way you play Lulu plus Heimerdinger. And Heimerdinger sucks late game. Heimer is one of the worst units in the game, but he's a mage, so you can just have him in there for the mage trait and for trainer, along with Lulu, who you'll probably want to play anyway in a mage composition because Lulu has both mystic and evoker traits, which are super useful. Lulu is one of this set's best units, and she will be played in a vast variety of team compositions because she has so much utility. I'm actually really hoping for her to show up early so that I can stack up Namzi faster. All right, well, up to this point, I've lost every single round, so I kind of was hoping I would have a close loss in this round. That would have been kind of the ideal outcome for me. Losing or winning this round is also not terrible, though, because I'm at 19 gold and I don't want to sell. Although if I lost, I probably would have sold the Vlad, but I wasn't sure that I wanted to do that because I do want the option to put in more mages. So we end up winning that round, and it's going to interrupt my loss streak. But as I said, I do need to start winning rounds eventually, so the timing was not ideal. Ideally, I would have lost that round and then look to win afterwards. But as I said, it certainly could have been worse. All right, so I do get a little bit of luck there. I find Silas on this particular round, and he is a 3-cost mage who has Mage, Bruiser, and also Whisper trait. And he just provides a little bit more frontline. I've been playing Lilia for frontline, but since I have a 2-star Skarner, it's much better to play Silas because that maintains Bruiser trait. And now I actually have semi-respectable frontline. It's still not good, but at least it's a little bit more respectable. I'm also really hoping for a sword to drop here so I can make Spear of Shojin on Ryze. That's my desired item. Ryze really wants a Spear of Shojin because that allows him to generate mana much more quickly. You don't want blue on Ryze. By the way, I'm going to get Idis, the Shimmer Scale Dragon here, but I don't want to play Idis. I'm playing mages. I don't want that, so I'm not just going to sell that for the 8 gold drop. In other circumstances, I might have played that, but there's no realistic way to get Idas into this team composition right here. And honestly, I needed the gold anyway. Taking an 8 gold drop is not a bad thing. So Ryze, he was in one of the other videos that I did earlier on the PBE. When I featured Guild as a trait, Ryze's thing is he has very low mana to start. He starts with 20 mana, but every time he casts, his mana goes up. It's the opposite of Karma from set 5, for those who might remember her. Karma in that set, every time she cast her mana went down. In this set, every time Ryze casts, his mana goes up. And every time he casts, he will shoot out more of his ability. What is his ability? His Overload. He'll shoot more each time. So you really want Mage Trait in with him because remember, every time he casts, he fires an additional bolt. And that way, with Mage Trait, every time he casts twice. So Ryze scales throughout the fights, and he's a really useful unit to have in. So like this fight, it sure looks like Grillo's going to win this one because he has the 2-star Swain, but nope, Ryze is scaling throughout the fight, and that's going to give him the advantage. All right, so here we get a Prismatic Augment, and I'm going to take the Mage Crown. That's going to give me a Mage. It's going to give me a Mage Spatula item, and it gives me a Spear of Shojin, which is just amazing because now I have Ryze fully itemized. Now I don't have to wait for that sword drop. Now I can just get that Spear of Shojin in right away, and I'm also going to put that Mage Cap on Tristana. So I go right up to 5 mages right away, and that's really, really good for me because the Mage trait is another one of those traits that kind of scales exponentially. The way mages work is they always cast twice. But when they cast on Mages 3, they cast with less ability power. So now I'm trying to decide: do I play the Nami or do I play the Lilia? And I think I decided that I'm going to play the Lilia because what I need really is just more protection. Ryze will kill everything if he stays alive, so I just need more protection for him. And Lilia is going to do more to provide protection than Nami. Although Nami would provide healing, but so maybe it should have been Nami to provide more healing, just to prevent Ryze from like taking scratch damage throughout the fight. Oftentimes, if you're playing mages, you will play into Astral as well. There's a lot of synergy between them because the Astral trait has Vlad, who is Astral plus Mage, and Nami, who's also Astral plus Mage. However, I knew I wasn't going to do that in this game because Antisocial Monkey, who I'm hitting right now, is playing he is playing Astral, and he's just playing straight Astral reroll. So I know he's going to go for 3-star Nami. He's working through Nami carry. And I know he's going to stack up a bunch of Vlads. He already has 6 Vlads, so I'm like, all right, it makes no sense to try to 3-star some of these units. And then I'm finally going to find the Lulu here. So I definitely want to play Lulu. I'm going to pull my Tome of Traits, and I'm looking here, and I was like, oh, Evoker, cool. So I need to get Lulu in here, because if I play Lulu, she will make Evoker. And I also need to drop the Lilia for Nami, because that'll also make Mystic. Lulu's super useful unit because she has Trainer, which gives her, which means she will stack up Namsi faster as well. Plus, she also has Mystic trait, plus she also has Evoker trait. Mystic is back from previous sets, provide magic resistance to the whole team. Evoker is this set's version of the mana generating trait. It generates mana for your units every time someone else casts. Let me read the official description for Evoker. Evokers gain mana whenever an ally or enemy casts an ability. Evoker 2 is only 3 mana, but remember, it's anytime anyone casts. It's not just, your allies. It's also the enemy team as well. And remember, mages double cast, so they will be proccing Evoker more frequently. So Evoker really useful to get in if you're playing mages, because mages are all about spellcasting. Evoker means they gain mana anytime anyone casts, and they're going to be double casting a lot. Well, now I have Ryze fully itemized, so I don't really have to worry about itemizing him. Now I need to start looking to get frontline items. So that's what I need now, is more stuff so that my frontliners will hold up long enough for my caster. So I'm going to go ahead and take the belt, and we'll just keep slapping this on frontline units. Skarner is going to come out of this team composition eventually. Tristana is also going to come out of this team comp eventually, which is why she has the mage hat for right now, because I can sell her and transfer that over to another unit later on. Sona also is a 4-cost unit. Now, Sona would not be a terrible unit to play as well, but, I don't have a spot in here. Since I have the Evoker emblem, she would not make Evoker traits, so that's not so great. And then I'm going to pick up the Ryze, and now I really need to play Nami over Lilia, but I think I just forget that Nami has Mystic trait. Again, I'm still trying to learn all the traits in this set as well. But I should be playing Nami over Lilia here, because that'll make Mystic, and that's 50 magic resistance for my entire team. And I don't think I spot that until later on. In fact, I actually think I go quite a while not realizing that, which was a pretty big oversight, honestly. getting 50 MR on every unit is a big deal, especially because I can get it for free. And I mean, it's like 1-star Nami, 1-star Lilia. They're both 2-cost units. There's not much of a difference between them. So that seems like a change I should have made. I don't know if it would have made the difference in this fight. This was a somewhat close fight, but Smash Mouth has not lost a fight yet. And he definitely has a lot more 2-star units than me. He probably still wins this, but, you know, with the extra MR, it might have made a difference. So he is going to win this fight and run his win streak out to 9 rounds. So Smash Mouth has picked up something interesting. He has picked up the Cursed Crown for his Prismatic Augment. Cursed Crown means you get to play 2 extra units. It's not like the Force of Nature. You play not just 1 extra unit, you play 2 extra units, but you take double damage from all sources. So yeah, he's level 7, so he has 9 units on his board right now. Yeah, he's playing 9 units, and like most of us are playing 6 units, so it kind of makes a difference. But if he actually loses a round, he's going to take double damage. So I actually personally don't like the Cursed Crown very much. I actually don't think it's that great as an augment. I mean, obviously it caps out super duper hard, and it's going to have like a very high win rate, but the actual finish rate is probably not going to be especially high. So it's like one of those feast or famine things where like you're more likely to win the lobby, but you're also more likely to crash out of the lobby if you can't put together a stronger board with those extra unit slots. Anyway, we're going to win this round against one of these random people who's not part of our group. And I'd have to say it was a very successful stage 3. Not winning against the person who has Cursed Crown and has the extra units in it, like that's not something you can really control. So I'm not too worried about that. But still, it was pretty successful overall, and I'm certainly not going to complain about that. I was able to find Lulu, who is one of the key units. I'm really glad that Lulu showed up because Lulu will help Namzi get bigger. There's Namzi getting to 2 stars. So yeah, Namzi has finally hit 2-star level, and it just increases all of Namzi's stats, as you might imagine. More health, more armor, more magic resistance. The ability does more damage, but I'm really not playing Namzi to do damage. Namzi is really just in there so that Namzi will provide the frontline protection for my comp. And so yeah, we're just kind of rolling here. And I actually get a Yasuo here at 1% odds. I was like, is there any way I can play this unit? And the answer was no, not really. Not with what I'm running here. I've already got the mage hat. Like, how would I use Yasuo? Would I try to turn him into a mage? I mean, I guess, but I'm not playing Mirage. I'm not playing Dragonmancer. I'm not playing Warrior. So like none of his traits would fit. It's a little bit unfortunate because there are a ton of team competitions where I would have like died just to have this unit. All right, so I've actually got this extra rod right now, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make Ionic Spark for a frontliner. I don't see any other obvious way to use this item. I don't think it's an amazing item, but like I already have my mages fully itemized. I don't need another rod for mage stuff. Like I could, I could make Morello's, but Morello's was nerfed right at the end of set 6. At the end of set 6.5, it's really not a very good unit, not very good anymore. And I do have Namzi to provide a healing debuff of some kind, so I'm not feeling the need for like a Morello's, and it's really kind of sad. They definitely over-nerfed that item after being super, really like the key item for most of set 6. Then they just put this humongous nerf. They cut the true burn in half, so yeah. All right, I don't like any of these augment options here, so I'm going to re-roll. That's one of the new options. And oh, look at this. Axiom Arc. Your units gain 30 mana on kill. This is a really useful augment for a mage composition because anytime one of your units kills something, they're going to gain 30 mana. Very useful. And because I'm playing Lilia, I decide that I will swap over into Nunu, and I will play Nunu as a frontline. I'm going to switch from Bruiser frontline to Cavalier frontline, basically, at least for the time being. And we'll see where we go from there. The Lilia has good odds to be replaced eventually. Oh, and then I decide I'll just go ahead and make this. Now that I've freed up this belt, I'm going to go ahead and make the Trap Claw here, Banshee's Claw, whatever it's called, just for a little bit more CC protection. And I think that that'll be pretty useful because I want to keep Ryze from getting jumped on. And I also still have this item remover, which is useful as well. So keep that in mind as well. I still have an item remover, so I'll be able to hold on to Ryze, and I can potentially transfer these items over. One of the big issues that I was having in a lot of the games on PBE is I was really struggling to put together late game team compositions. And that's very common at the start of the set because you learn kind of like the early game units first, and then how to put them together into late game compositions comes second. And like knowing like which units you should have the kind of like your key items on late in the game is just something that's hard to know until you've played the game a fair bit. I've actually been doing very, very poorly on PBE. Obviously, I'm not going to put a bunch of footage of games where I come in like 6th place or 7th place on YouTube, because like, what's the point of watching me play a team competition and like have it not come together? Like, that's not very interesting. I guess maybe you can take some kind of perverse satisfaction, but like a game where I try something and it doesn't work doesn't really make for good content. But yeah, like I've been struggling a lot in this game to try to get this stuff to come together. And this is a game where I basically took a page from something that someone else had done and used it to help me out here. So I do make 2-star Namzi. We already had 2-star Namzi. I do make 2-star Nami, and I really want to get Nami into my team composition because she's going to provide that mystic trait. And so ultimately I was like, you know what? We'll just play her over. Let's just play her over the Heimerdinger. So this does drop me down to trainer 2. It means that I'm going to be stacking up Namzi slower because I no longer get the benefit from having Heimer in. I also want to save Heimer because remember, I need to play Heimer later on in the game if I want to maintain Namzi. I'm going to have to play Trist. I'm going to drop Trist. I'm going to have to play Lulu plus Heimerdinger down the road because Trist is going to come out. Trist is just holding the mage cap for me right now. So she's going to come out of the team composition once I find someone better to hold that mage cap. So I need to hold Heimerdinger. But he is a unit that I would certainly rather play the Nami over him. Nami's a much better unit, and she also provides Mystic Trait. Okay, so we've got a chance to take another item off Carousel here. I've actually won enough rounds after that kind of shaky start that I'm actually going to be last pick here on Carousel. Smash Mouth did finally lose a round. He actually had a narrow loss, but he took double damage because he's got that Cursed Crown. So he took 18 damage, even though it was a narrow loss. And yeah, the good news is I'm just going to have to try to find something useful here. And I think that I try to take this belt, but Smash Mouth takes it. So I take the 1 gold belt over the 2 gold belt. That was Yone and Tom Kench holding the items. Now I'm going to go level 8, and I'm going to look to roll a little bit and see if I can start getting into my endgame team composition here. So let's go ahead and go to level 8. I've got a decent amount of gold to roll with. So let's keep going. And I find an early Soraka, so that's kind of nice. I can look to maybe play her for the time being, although she's not kind of a key unit that I'm looking for. Again, I'm not going to pick up Nami. I know I'm not going to 3-star Nami because we already have the Nami 3-star on Antisocial's board. And oh, look at this. I find the Owl Shin, and that's the unit that now I want to play. So I'm trying to get him in my team composition, but I run out of time. I can't get him into the team comp fast enough. So now it's time to start putting these items on this unit. So I've got him on my bench. This is the Storm Dragon. I need to play this unit. I also need to pick up the Ornn in the store. Let's see if I remember that I need to pick up the Ornn here, because I definitely want to play this unit with Ornn. I don't know if I remember to do that here. Obviously, I'm going to lose this round because I got caught transitioning. I have none of my carry items here, so I'm actually going to lose and take a bad loss, which is unfortunate. Do I remember to take this Ornn here? You always want to play Ornn together with Al Shin because they both have the Tempest trait. I pick up the Sona, and looks like I clicked on it and it didn't come over. But fortunately, there's another Ornn in the shop. All right, so let's talk about this dragon as I reconfigure my team composition here. So Al Shin is the Tempest Dragon. I actually have 2 Ryzes in right now. There we go. So like all dragons, he provides triple value of 1 trait, and that is the Tempest trait. So you get 3 Tempest for playing this unit. And in addition to that, he also gains bonus health if he's the only dragon in. So the dragon units are kind of like ninja trait from some of the earlier sets in that you only play 1 of the units. And if you do that, they get their bonus. They get bonus health. Right now in PBE, the bonus health is, I think, 750. They've tweaked this a couple times. And the bonus trait that gets tripled is Tempest. Oh, there we go. There we're seeing the cast for the first time. I'll talk more about this in a second. So yeah, this unit, Al Shin, he is a mage dragon. Well, he does not have mage trait. I want to be clear. Does not have the mage trait, but he's a spellcasting dragon. And he's really, really strong if you can put a mage hat on him, which is what I've done here. Basically, this is Victor from the last set, from set 6. He has really, really, really high mana costs. I believe his mana costs are 180 right now and starts at 0. So it's not like it's 80 out of 180 or like 100 out of 180. It's like, no, it's his mana costs are literally 0. So he has to fill up the mana bar all the way. But when he does, he launches a bazillion electric bolts, and it's really nasty for everybody on the other side. So I'm still trying to configure my team composition here. I probably should have played the Nami because that would give me a rank of Mystic trait. Again, not remembering that throughout this game. Really should have played that, I think, over the Lilia. I think I've said that like 18 times. But still trying to learn that. So I'm actually going to make a Zeke's here for the extra attack speed. And then I've got a leftover glove. So yeah, someone can hold that. We'll figure out. It doesn't really matter too much who I put this on. So while we have a minute here, I'll just go ahead and read the official description for Shin. I'm just looking for that here. All right, here we go. Shin. So Tempest Dragon, as mentioned, he gives you 3 ranks of the Tempest trait. Ability is Lightning Rain. Shin fires a barrage of 20 lightning strikes at random enemies. Each strike deals magic damage and drains 20 mana from his target. So yeah, drains 20 mana from the target. That's kind of interesting. So not only does he fire 20 lightning bolts that deal a bajillion damage, he also drains mana. And what's strong here is he's going to double cast because I have the mage cap on him. I have Spear of Shojin so that he will stack up mana more quickly. I've got a Trap Claw to protect him from CC. I've actually got a Zeke, so he also attacks more quickly. And then I've also got an Archangel Staff. I wonder if the Jeweled Gauntlet would have been better. I'm honestly not sure. I think that I wanted the Archangel Staff because it would provide another 15 starting mana. So he would just cast maybe like 1 auto attack faster. And that actually does matter with this unit because he kind of wipes the board when he casts. Now, in addition to all that other stuff, yeah, there we go. There's the Lightning Storm. You just electrocute everybody to death. So not only does he cast twice, I also remember I have that Augment that gives me 30 mana on kill. So not only does this guy cast twice, he's going to gain 30 mana every time he kills a unit. So we have a very real opportunity here for him to cast once, and then he double casts from Mage, and if he kills like 5 units with those double casts, it's going to give him 30 mana back per kill. So he could theoretically cast 4 times in a row with these abilities. I think ideally I'd love to have a Gunblade in there in addition to the Spear of Shojin so that he would be healing my own team as he keeps ulting. But I mean, this is still pretty good. And in fact, this is something that I had happen to me in one of my games. This is me learning something from one of the games that I ended up losing. I had this, wait, did I show? No, I think this is the game I put on YouTube where I was playing a Ragewing team composition. And someone else had this, or no, maybe this wasn't a game that was on YouTube. I can't remember. I'm just rambling here. Apologies for that. But it was a game where I had this really strong team composition, and I just lost in the end game because this other person had, you know, this exact setup. They had the Shin, and they had a Spear of Shojin for quick casting quickly, and they had that Augment that gives you back 30 mana on kill. So it just, the Shin would ult, and then like kill half my team, and then instantly ult a second time for a million damage, as you're seeing once again. So I've kind of built this really strong setup that you would not normally be able to get. But, you know, it requires having a very specific augment and also requires having a mage hat. But if you can put a mage hat on this dragon, it's super duper strong. So the other thing I should talk about is Tempest trait. I have not talked too much about Tempest. It is the trait that I'm getting 3 ranks in, thanks to having the Shin Dragon. So Tempest is a trait that, you know, is also electricity related. And what it does is causes lightning to strike the board. Again, official description here. After 8 seconds, lightning strikes the battlefield. Enemies are stunned by 1 second and take a percentage of their max health as true damage. Tempest champions then gain attack speed. So it doesn't do anything for a little bit. 8-second delay. Then lightning strike stuns everybody. Everybody on the enemy team takes percentage of their max health, and Tempest champions gain attack speed. So it's kind of an interesting trait. You can dive into it heavily, although that has not been done a lot so far in the PBE. Most of the time people are playing this as a splash trait, as at Tempest 2, you play Ornn plus somebody else, Ornn plus Lee Sin, Ornn plus Ezreal if you're playing Swift Shot, blah, 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 just because it does stun the entire enemy board for 1 second. But of course, you can also dive more heavily into the trait, and then the percentage health done is higher, and Tempest champions get more attack speed afterwards. By the way, look what we've got here. There's another mage cap on this carousel. I'm like, all right, I'll take that. And then, oh, end up not grabbing that. Yeah, should have just grabbed that. I was trying to see if the other person was going to take the Zephyr, and I think the reason for that is I didn't want to have to dodge Zephyrs with my Shin. But I should have just taken the mage cap, because then I could have maged somebody else on the team. And then we actually could have played 7 mages at level 9, although we probably did need to do that. But it would have been really nice to find Bard at level 9 and put a mage cap on him. Bard is one of the best units in the game to put a mage cap on. So yeah, right now I have Tempest 4 in because I'm getting 3 ranks of the trait from Shin, and then I get a rank of the trait in from Ornn. Right now, Tempest 4 is 18% of max health to the other team and 50% attack speed for Tempest units after it goes off. So yeah, I'm just go ahead and toss the Zephyr onto Heimerdinger, and then I can move him around and try to Zephyr key units. I mean, like, look, a late game Zephyr is never bad, but it's probably could have made another stronger option. Since I put in the Shin, I've kind of been winning every round pretty easily. The comp I'm most concerned about is the person who's playing assassins, just because I'm playing mages. Mages kind of innately do badly against assassins. So, you know, I think I'm going to end up clumping up here in a little bit as a way to try to defend against that. It is one of the teams that I can go up against. Somber PBE has like this 3-star Kiana and 3-star Twitch, although Twitch is not an assassin. We keep thinking he's an assassin. He's going to jump at the start of the fights, but no, not an assassin in this set, unlike set 6, where he was an assassin. And yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to be up against that comp, so I'm going to try to clump here, and I'm going to try to Zephyr out that 3-star Kiana. Kiana is a 2-cost unit, so 3-star is not like the end of the world. And I actually ended up hitting the other comp. It was 50-50, and I was positioning for the assassin comp. So my Zephyr is not especially well targeted, and I actually don't really want to be clumped for this fight because it means I'm getting hit by all that CC from the other team. So, they're actually going to burst down and kill Shin before it manages to get off a second cast. I mean, it's a close fight, but I do end up losing it. That's just me being positioned for a different team composition there. Being clumped was not what I wanted for that particular one. And this is a close fight, but it looks like Smash Mouth was able to win that one. All right, so I finally hit 2-star Ryze. I did not exactly have a ton of luck in hitting the Ryze in these fights. So yeah, I'm going to continue positioning here. Again, I've mentioned this before, but there's really no reason for me to be playing Lilia here. I should have Nami in for a rank of Mystic. Would definitely be better at this stage of the game. But Namzi's gotten up to 3 stars, so that's a plus. Normally you would want Namzi to be 4-starred by now, but I've unfortunately had 1-star Heimerdinger the entire game, and that has greatly slowed down the rate at which Namzi has been getting stacked up. Because if I had 2-star Heimer in, you know, I'd be getting that extra snack in every single round. And so, yeah, I've been very slow to stack up this unit, but oh well. Now I'm level 9, I'm going to roll, and oh, there we go. There's the 2-star Tempest Dragon. Right now, you actually do get a pretty good increase in the damage when this unit hits level 9. Now I'm looking for other units. I can play Soraka. I actually kind of want Bard is the unit I would prefer to play here, but we'll see if I can actually find the Bard. I'm up to 6 Ryzes, so I'll keep stacking them. And can I actually find Bard? Bard is a Mystic, so he would give me Mystic Trait. He would also give me the guild bonus for Bard, which is that you stack up additional mana on hit. And I was going to reposition here, but didn't manage to get there in time. I was doing my roll down. I actually am up against the assassin player this time, so I was not positioned. I didn't actually position for anyone in this round, but it looks like I'm still okay. Yeah, that lightning storm is a wee bit strong, isn't it? That's only the first cast, by the way. Remember, I get 2 casts, and I probably would get a 3rd and 4th cast as well, based on having this augment that gives me extra mana per kill. So yeah, just the first cast is kind of wiping the board. I'm not even needing the second cast right now. But I mean, there's a reason for that. This is a 10-cost dragon, so it is very, very expensive to put these units together. 10 gold per star level of the dragon. So and of course they're legendary units, so it's hard to find these things. So very, very expensive unit, but if you can put it together, it is certainly quite strong. These are the dragons that cap out the highest: Shin, Aurelion Sol, and Shyvana. At the moment, I'm looking at the stats here. The damage goes up by almost double from 1-star to 2-star. Right now, it's saying on the cheat sheet that the damage from the ability is 250 at 1-star and 450 at 2-star, and it fires 20 of those bolts. I knew I was going to be up against the assassin comp here, so I clump up my units to defend against the assassins. Now, that does mean that I get hit by Bardol, but look, Shin keeps firing even when he's CC'd. So yeah, he just gets off the double cast and, just wipes the board in like 3 seconds once he starts ulting. I do have a complaint to make about this unit, Shin. I'm not sure that there's enough counterplay in the way that this unit's designed. Like, once that unit, it's like whether the unit casts or not, and that's kind of all that there is to this unit. As I said, I'm not sure that there's enough counterplay here. It feels as though, like, if this unit casts, it wins the fight, and if it doesn't cast, it's useless. So I wish that things weren't quite so binary here. As I said, I don't love the way that this unit is designed, and I think it's going to be a balanced problem kind of throughout the set. All right, so this person, I'm up against the only person who beat me recently. That is the person who is running the Mirage team composition, has the Windrake. So I positioned to hit Deja with my Zephyr, and I actually do get that. Now, here's the downside. I actually moved into a Shroud of Stillness. So I was like, that's not great. That person had a Shroud of Stillness, and I actually moved into it, but it actually still works out okay. Shin goes off and kills everything and kills the other player. So at this point, again, I was hoping I would win because I was the last person from our group in the lobby. So I'm really hoping I can win this match. And I was like, are you kidding me? There's a Shroud of Stillness on the other side. I was like, really? You're going to give that person Shroud of Stillness? That's like literally the only thing that's going to cause problems for me, is giving that person a Shroud. I was like, all right, okay. And I'm actually so annoyed that I accidentally pathed into this bow, which is completely useless. I wanted to get the Thief's Glove, and I was going to put the Thief's Glove on Soraka. Soraka is a really great unit. She just has like crazy healing for your team, and she also heals your little legend as well in these fights. She's healing my little legend for 2 HP the first time she casts her ability in these fights. So again, I wanted to play Bard, but I just have not managed to find Bard so far. I know that I'm going to get shrouded. There's no way to dodge that, so I'm not going to try. I know he can just place the shroud at the start of the match, so I'm not going to try to avoid the shroud. I'm just going to accept that, but what I am going to do is clump up against this assassin's board. I get the Zephyr on the Kiana, which I perceive to be the most dangerous unit on this board, and this is going to keep these units off of me. So Aurelian's or Al Shin's going to get the ult off, and yeah, as soon as that ult goes off, I'm going to wipe the board, and that's GG. Oh, look at what this person said too. Trash, stay plat. It's like, we were like, wait, what? We're all just typing GG, but okay, I guess that person's just kind of a jerk. Sometimes you run into people like that. There's not much to do about that, except ignore them. So yeah, this is a team comp that really came together. I had a lot of pieces that worked super well. I got the Mage Cap, which was really key. I got the Spear of Shojin, and I got that Axiom Arc, which was super useful in a composition like this. Oh, and Ludens. Ludens is really good for Mage composition too. So I think the pieces came together, and it was a pretty solid late game. In any case, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, take care, folks.